So
Nice.
good.
Pennsylvania?
Where, sorry?
Pennsylvania?
Oh, been to Pennsylvania. Yep, been to Allentown and Bethlehem and around there. That's beautiful in fall around there. I'm in Los Angeles, which means that we don't really get much weather. I mean, it's only just sunny or just cold for a bit and then sunny again. But it's weird because Christmas is just, it doesn't look like Christmas.
It's a real rough life there in LA.
It's a little wildfire-y, I'll tell you that. No one has it. No one has it good, totally good. You know what I mean? Anyway, 1 o'clock. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Real Plans webinar. We're running these every week now, Katie? Is that right?
We are.
Yeah. And in case you've just joined, I'm Anthony Bartlett. I'm the CEO of Real Plans and the guy who built it and stuff. And Katie, that's the Chief Operating Manager. She just has a finger in all the pies. We'll throw in as many food analogies as we can today. Between two of us, we have a big old team behind us who supports us with everything and helps us make everything as good as possible. So we're going to jump in. Today's webinar is talking about how to cook as little as possible. And in order to have that moment where you come up to your fridge and you open it like this, and you open it and you go, food. Because I don't know if anyone can relate to that feeling of coming up to one's fridge and opening it up, assuming you have 2 doors on your fridge. Let's just do one like that. If you're in England, you have little fridges. In America, you have large fridges like this. And you open it up and there's nothing in it. And so what you do is you close the fridge again, and then you close your eyes and you wish harder, and then you open it up and there's still no food in there. And so really what this is about is having a plan. And also being able to figure out how to make it so that you don't have to cook very much. And rather than a big old chit chat at the beginning, I'm just going to launch into the thing. Could you do a quick poll, Katie, and find out how many people are actually have Real Plans already, and how many people are thinking of using Real Plans?
Sure.
You do that, and while you do that, I'm going to show you this. So this is Real Plans, if you haven't seen it before. And it's really straightforward, actually. It's just, here it is. Here's a plan. And over here, you can see some recipes. And over here, I have a set of recipes. We have over 2,000 of them. And based on a diet that you've created, and the diet could be based on allergies or, taste. I am gluten-free and I don't like mushrooms. You can have that. You can have a gluten-free mushroomless diet. And so everything within my diet here is everything, that you've set up. And you can grab recipes and you can put it on here. And when you do that, it then automatically adds to a shopping list, which is over here. And the shopping list tells you what's what, and you get all of your stuff in here. And these are all the ingredients you need for this. And if this is all very overwhelming when you first come in here and you want to just start again, you can just kind of clear the planner. And we'll start from scratch here. And this is where I want to kind of pick up our story of not cooking as much as you don't want to cook 21 different recipes in a given week. And it revolves
I don't want to
around
cook it all right now.
You don't want to. Yeah.
I can't. I'm going to start a poll. Does anyone actually want to cook anymore? Because we're all tired of it, right?
Yeah, there is that. I mean, everyone's at home a lot right now, and everyone's trying to figure out, how to. There's various problems to solve that we're going to talk about today. There's the how do I cook how do I cook so I cook efficiently? How do I make sure that I don't go to the store very much, seeing as 80% of the world are trying to stay at home right now. And also, how do I make things with the same ingredients and make it so that it feels a little bit different each time? Because if you went to the store and then you got a bunch of ground beef or mincemeat in England, there you go, Mum. And my mum is literally on this call right now, so I'm just waving at her and translating back into English, British English. You want to figure out how to make it more interesting rather than just slapping, ground beef with some onions and garlic powder every night. And so anyway, we're here to help you with that too. Okay, so let's start. So over here, you can go, all right, well, let's pick something. Let's pick an entree over here, main course, and pick something that we actually like. And in Real Plans, if you thumbs up stuff, it always comes to the top of your searches. But you've got various ways of picking things that are going to be efficient in what you can cook and how simply they are to cook. So let's have a look here. There's some interesting little filters here, like number of ingredients. 40 of the entrees within my diet, this is a little number here, has 3 or less ingredients. By 3 or less ingredients, I mean, we're not counting salt and pepper and, staple items. We're saying, oh, if you're doing carrot ginger soup, the carrot and the ginger, you need, and some stock. You need those 3 things in order to make a soup. But you can kind of click on there and have number of ingredients, which is kind of one way of doing stuff. And there's another tag. Katie and I were discussing, this earlier today, and she was saying that one of the coolest tags in here is this freezable one here. So you can say, oh yes, this is a freezable, simple to make stuff that you can just throw in the freezer and just make it once, and you can make a big batch of it, and you can get on with it. So one of my favorite things here are these meatballs here. I'm just going to throw these on, and I can just grab them and just put it in for dinner like this. And now it already has set up for me the fact that I'm going to cook for 4, because there's 4 in my house. There's me and girlfriend and children and all that kind of stuff. And it says, in order to do that, you need a pound of beef or lamb. All right, great, that's cool. Now, what about if I want to make more of them? Well, you can do that, and a lot of us cooks, or if you're not a cook, you look at this and you can get a little intimidating, because you go, all right, how much of that should I put in, and how much of this? Well, it's really simple in Real Plans. You can just grab this recipe, and then you can go, you know what, we're going to eat it again on Thursday. And you drag this recipe over to Thursday. And then it says, do you want to move it, or do you want to eat it for leftovers? And for the purposes of this webinar, I'm going to do the leftover thing here, and there it is. So now I have a little yellow circle around here, which is like a kind of recycle it basically, a leftover icon. And it now means that if I open this recipe up, I'm cooking for 8, which now means I need 2 pounds of beef in order to make this happen. And so you can do the same thing with the side as well. And so, okay, let's imagine that we're going to make some Moroccan rice. Oh, okay, let's do that. And then you can also left over that guy and put that over and do that. And so now all of a sudden you have a meal plan. And I'm breaking this down very simply because, the thing about meal plans is that people get a little overzealous, a little too enthusiastic. There we go. People get a little too enthusiastic about trying to plan all the things. And then it's a little bit like going to the gym and going, I am going to do 50 pounds weights, and I'm going to do this many reps. I'm going to do it. And you get there and you can't get past the first one. And all good trainers will say, start slow. Let's start with the little 3-pound weights. Let's do a few of these. And then, quickly you kind of get the hang of it, and you can do more if you want. But a lot of people don't have to do that many recipes on here in order to make it a really good meal plan. Now, this is one way of working with Real Plans, where you are deciding how things should be done. You've cleared the meal plan and everything else. But there are various other ways of dealing with Real Plans that I wanted to show you. And one of them is, what if you want to reduce the amount of times you go to the store, and you want to see what you can already make in the system based on the ingredients you already have in your kitchen? Which I think is a valid question. Because maybe if you set up this whole meal plan, you get a shopping list, you enthusiastically go to the store with your mask on or what have you, and then you get there and there is no fresh, carrots, or that's what I found when I went. But that was when the pandemic hit Los Angeles. It's going to Whole Foods, a supermarket, a store here, that just ran out of fresh carrots and fresh ginger too, and all the pasta. But some of the produce was missing, which is, I was like, oh no. So there's this little icon here called Manage Pantry, and you can just click on this guy. And you can go through and click on the ingredients you already have in your kitchen. And we're using a concept of substitution. So we're grouping ingredients together. So chicken pieces as opposed to, do you have chicken breast? Do you have chicken wing? No, we're putting it all together. Or cooked shredded meat, for example, which is another valid way of saying, do you have any of these things? And then we show you, these are the available recipes. This is what you can make. And when we say you can make it, we mean, right, if I bring this avocado chicken salad over here like so, we're saying it's because you said you had some chicken, some avocado, some leafy greens, onion, and some cooking fat. Those are all the mandatory ingredients for cooking that. And not only that, we're managing your inventory, right? Because I've been telling Katie for, I don't know, how long, Katie, have I been going, I really want this. And then we'd always get to this, we'd have the meeting, and then we get to the point in the meeting where we'd go, but how do we manage units of measures and measures? And what if, they have 6 avocados and it calls for 3. That means we have 3 avocados left. And then your 13-year-old boy goes in and has avocado on toast at midnight. And then when you try and make the recipe the next day, it doesn't work. This is where we came up with the pantry. We're like, okay, let's have it separate from the shopping list. And we'll let the, subscriber kind of basically decide. So here you can say, you know what? When I cook this avocado chicken salad, I've run out of avocado. And also chicken pieces. Ugh, I'm using the last of it. There we go. And then now it refreshes your recipes that you can still make, and you can put that onto your plan too. So this is another way of using real plans in a way that is for the times. It's for a way of reducing social contact and not having to go to the store as many times. Now, also, there's another very cool feature with the pantry, is that having told us what you have in your kitchen, if you're wanting to get some inspiration, or you're literally wanting to know what other things could I get in order to open up more recipes, you can click on here and we'll tell you. We'll say, well, if you had some eggs, you'd unlock another 10 recipes if you did that. So that's a good thing to know. It's like it's an understanding of where to go next. Especially, I heard a story the other day of actually one of our employees who had their curbside pickup for their store only allowed them 4 substitutions. And so she didn't know which ones were the most important. And if she had this tool, she would have known that egg was make sure that the eggs are happening. So in here, let's say I forgot to check off eggs. Check off eggs, boom, I've now got 24 recipes available. So that's the pantry. So Katie, what did our poll say?
Which one?
Oh, did I have multiple? The one where I said how many people are actually part of Real Plans and how many don't have.
Oh, that's right. I also did one about cooking. In case you're wondering, everyone hates cooking and they're tired of
it. That's great.
We're all so over funny. It. So the majority of people are current users, and so what I thought might be fun would be to do a meal plan for this week. We could show them what you would do, or what I would do. So I would just do 2 big breakfasts.
Okay,
I thought we could just go through it.
Why don't we set up Katie's schedule? Okay, I love that idea. All right. So if, as most of you know how Real Plans works, this is just revision for you. But for people who aren't part of Real Plans, really the heart and soul of this is the fact that you can create automated meal plans, and it's based on a diet and a schedule. So you go over to settings over here, and I'm going to demonstrate that. You can go over to my meal plan, and you can go in here, and this is where you can automate the leftovers, which is the main theme of today, and saying how you can reduce the amount of cooking. So Katie, what's your diet?
I am classic.
Classic, which means omnivore. And then anything you don't like?
Yes, I hate mushrooms. I feel very strongly about that.
This is the not pulling any punches webinar today. I think it's just appropriate.
I think it's quarantine life. We just all have given up on holding it back.
This is how life is right now. So if you go over here and you put in mushroom in here, and you can find all the variants, which means all of the times we mentioned the word mushroom in an ingredient, you can select all of those, and we're going to make a omnivore's mushroomless diet for Katie, and I saved that now. So now there's a little man running around Real Plans in a computer, and it's going, this recipe is good, this recipe is not. Okay, he's done. So now let's go and do your cook less schedule. So tell me what you want to do.
I want to cook 4 times for dinner.
Okay. Leftovers or no?
Yes.
that was a leading question. Yeah. So this is really interesting, this part here, because you can actually say, well, first of all, how many leftover portions do you want each leftover to be? Because some people will cook a full meal that night, but then there's only, the kids are off and there's only you and your partner having lunch during the day, and you can say, well, I only want 2 leftover portions. But right now, clearly, everyone's at home. I know this isn't funny. I think it's just like we're 6 weeks in California, and so we're getting to hysteria. So yes, of course. So you have 4, and then how many leftovers do you want to make from your original 4 dinners?
I actually think that I just want to make 1.
Okay, that's cool.
And then what I'm going to do for lunch is I'm going to make these lunchbox meals.
Oh. Okay.
Now, this feels a little silly because we're not leaving, but the cool part about lunchbox meals is that they are easy. And so they might just be like a lunch meat thrown with a veggie and a starch and something to where you're not really cooking. And that's my main goal right now.
All right. So this lunchbox meal is normally designed for people who want to go to an office, ironically. But Katie is just going to use the system and say, I want lunchbox meals. How many lunchboxes would you like, madam?
I think I would like 4 of those as well.
I think it's Miss in America, isn't it? It's rude to call someone madam.
Yeah, I think that makes me old.
Yeah. Okay. Miss.
And
how many breakfasts would you like, Miss?
I would just like big batch breakfasts.
Big batch breakfast. Okay. So that one.
Yep.
Okay, good. Now, you can go in here and go absolutely loopy if you want the scheduling. You can say, I would like tacos every Tuesday night. I want fish every Friday night. I want this and that. But we're not going to do that. We're going to just save this. So we save that. And so to review then, we have the Omnivore's Mushroomless Diet with 4 dinners, leftovers, and oh, it did it before I could even describe it. Okay, so off we go. Wow, look at this.
Very nice.
Now let me show you a little trick here in case you haven't seen this in a while, Real Plans. First of all, it's got this, this lovely recipe thing over here and drag it over. But if you click minimize over here, it does something quite magical in my humble opinion. Yay! You can see all the pictures. And what's cool about that, I think, is that you really understand the difference between where you're making it and where you're actually going to eat it. God, we're quiche heavy for breakfast. Apparently, you like quiches.
I do like quiche, but I don't want to make my own crusts. So you could go ahead and delete those crusts. See, I'm cooking less. Very nice.
Oh, whoa. See, look, it removes all the leftovers too when you do that. Oof.
Yep. And just so everyone knows, when you do that, it then puts the quiche crust on your shopping list. So you can just pick up one of those at the store, or you can cook it if you want.
It does that?
It does that.
Wow.
That's and then cool. If you want to go ahead and open up that Italian lunchbox.
Okay.
So this is one of the recipes I was talking about. While you do have to buy ingredients, as you'll see here, it's got a lot of veggies and some protein. That way you just kind of throw it all together and you're not actually cooking. So you can make these ahead of time. Or my favorite plan, because my kids are just a little bit older. I have an 8-year-old and then a teenager. But make your kids do this. They are more than capable of putting together their salad and their lunch meat. So that's one of my biggest tips for lunch is have them join in so you don't have to cook.
Plus, look at that salami and little sliced cheese situation and some lettuce going on. That also helps, because what's happening in my household is that I'm surprised right now on this webinar that we've not had either a child or a dog or something barking or going, I want a snack, and coming in here. You know what I mean? Because I'm obviously at home with my logo that I made. This is a cushion logo here that I made from Joann's, a materials store close by in Los Angeles, and you know, to look profesh. And the amount of times that I'm in the middle of doing something and someone will come in and they open up the fridge and they're grabbing, you know, stuff. So I think this lunchbox thing is really cool because it's providing us, you know, lots of options.
Now, I do have one question. I think we have the perfect opportunity to talk about it. I have someone who is kind of a little bit picky, don't have adventurous eaters in their house. So if you want to open that Italian lunchbox back up.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go ahead and change this recipe because I don't actually like artichoke hearts.
Okay.
And so I'm just going to pull them out of the recipe. Not my gig. That way, if the kids are looking at it, they don't get confused. I don't have them on the shopping list. And we can save that. Now it's my own recipe.
So I can just save that. And so what this is doing right here is it's doing what you normally do, because you can import recipes too from the internet and you can have whatever you want. But it's basically making sure you have ingredients in here. This is what's going to show up on your shopping list. We recognize ingredients and put the categories in and confirm that. And confirm the fact that we don't have a unit of measure there because, you know, pickle's a pickle or whatever. And then what it does is it saves that. Now this is your Italian lunchbox and this is your Real Plans modified version. So this is now you've created your own version of this recipe inside of your meal plan. Yeah, awesome. Brilliant.
Great.
So any other questions, actually?
We do have a question about adding your own recipes to the system.
Oh, okay. Let me show you that, and I can come over here. Look, so there's another way of scanning through the recipes, and if you go over to the recipe box here, so I just clicked over on this side. This gives you a nice big. It gives you a nice big set of recipes here where you can really see, you know, like everything, big pictures and stuff like that. And there's an import recipe thing here, which works pretty good. So you basically click on this and then you can just manually add something, or you can go crazy. You can go to any you know, website you like, but let's go to main dishes over here. And let's go and get this corn salad. And then this is it's a very cool blog, Holistic Squid. And in here, you've got your ingredients, and it's like a bulleted list, and you've got directions, which are numbered list. And I can grab this, go over to here, and stick it in. And provided you get it, you know, there's no like crazy advertising or stuff like that going on the page. It'll grab everything in, and then you can get very, very fancy, and you can say, "Ooh, I'm gonna look at that," and you can feel like a graphic artist for a minute. And you go, "Ooh, that's nice." Crop that like that, and then it'll pull in your ingredients and your how to prepare. Now, there are other things that you can add to this that sometimes we can't pull in automatically. But you can certainly, if you pick which season it's from, the main ingredient. So in this one here, the main ingredient, I think it's just vegetarian, isn't it? So I'm going to say vegetable, and you can say what course it is. It's an entree like this. Then it'll schedule as well in your meal plan. And so you can save this, and now you have a recipe that is all yours. So here we're saying, I'm checking everything, corn, okay, because lots of bloggers will put, you know, I like this one, and link to Amazon and all this kind of stuff. But we recognize, for the most part, the unit of measure. Man, this took many weekends and evenings goes, right? But here we go. There it is. And you can confirm this, and you confirm the ingredients, and then it creates the recipe for you. And now in the origin, it's going to say, your imported recipe. There it is. So now you have your own recipe. And you can go to actions, and then you can schedule that guy straight away. So I have that on Wednesday. Oh, no. Well, this is on Katie's plan. So we're just going to put it in for dinner right now. Just go and have a look at it. Go to the meal. You can stay in the recipe box and add a number of ones if you want. Anyway, there you go. Mexican street corn salad. So I'm going to put this over to dinner now that I've got context. And this looks like too much cooking, but you can kind of get rid of something else. And there it is. There's the imported recipe. Hope that answers your question with a nice little image too.
It does. And since you mentioned too much cooking, I would love to move that recipe to the next week. Can you show us how to easily do that?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you just move the recipe like that. Just click on the little 3 dots, and then we'll stick it in. Is it going to be May already?
Oh, it is on Friday.
So there, and I'll have it for lunch, and I'll move the meal over like that. And then now that whole thing moves over to the following week. So,
which I think the motto we just learned there is, don't avoid your Real Plans planner if you're overcooking. You can just come in here and move everything to the next week and look at your planner like you actually did everything.
Right, yeah.
And that makes me feel like I've been really productive.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so there we go. Keeping it real at Real Plans with what we've got going on. Any other questions?
Not so far, but we can hang on for a second and see what else we have.
All right. Well, I'm going to just talk a little bit more then. If no one's...
We haven't shown the shopping list, really, if you wanted to pop over there.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Oh, good.
Look, let me show you some other parts of this this meal planner here. So creating all of this obviously creates that shopping list. It also creates a timeline. So you can go over to this timeline here, and then it tells you what's what and when you do what. And you can click on a particular thing, and it'll tell you, it'll remind you. If you've got the mobile app, because all of this is sitting in the App Store and on the Play Store for Android, you can grab it, apart from My Pantry, by the way. But everything else you've got on the mobile part. So that's the timeline. But if I go over to the shopping list, now what's kind of cool about the shopping list is that you can make it a real shopping list. Now, I would hazard a guess that if you look at all of this, you can click any of this. You can click and check any of this off. You can either say, yeah, I've got all those spices. That's fine. And then you can go back here and you can go, oh, okay, yeah, got that. So that's obviously, a straightforward shopping list. That's what you're doing. But you can also say things like, here, I'm saying, regardless of what's in my recipes, I want bananas every week. And I also want chocolate every week, by the way. And I want some cheese every week, regardless of what else is going on. And what it does is it means that it ensures that you are keeping this real. So you don't have to think through every time, what are the staple things that I need from the store? Oh no, I forgot to get ketchup if you're a ketchup household. But also, you can remove things. So that's how you add stuff. And you add stuff over here. Look, you can say, oh, I want a tomato. What's tomatoes? Nice tomato. And you can add those. And in here, this is where you define how often you want these to show on the shopping list, or just one time. So the other way, the reverse of that is, stop showing me rice, because I have a rice paddy out back of my house. And over here you can say, I always have rice. So don't tell me about rice. So you're removing stuff as well. And there's this other cool feature, this whole make your own, which is pretty fun.
Oh, good, because I can't get bread down there.
Sorry?
I can't get bread in my stores. Can you get bread in your stores?
I can't get bread. because there's no bread. You can just make your own. So instead, you can, because that crusted salmon needs some breadcrumbs on it, you can make your own bread. And so if you click make your own, it says, are you sure you want to add this recipe? So now bread is sitting on here, and the ingredients for the bread is now sitting on my plan. So there you have it. This is the shopping list, and people really, really like this shopping list because it means that it's a real shopping list. And even if you're on a diet and then you've thrown on the, a chocolate cake for the Zoom birthday party that you're going to be holding for your 10-year-old daughter next week, you can put that chocolate cake as well as your restrictive omnivore mushroomless diet onto your meal plan, and then you're able to kind of get it all in one go, thereby saving gas, thereby saving on the number of masks and gloves or whatever it is that you're using to go to the store. But mostly what we're doing is you're grabbing ingredients that you need to get, first of all, because you've planned before you left for the store. You said, these are things that these are the things I actually need to get. And then secondly, the ingredients you're getting are going into actual meals. And you're covering the snack quotient of it because, like, Katie's got her lunch boxes and stuff like that. You can add ingredients too to your meal plan if you just want to just get a single ingredient. But Katie, how are we doing?
I think that's about all.
Fantastic. So we're like about half an hour into our webinar now, which means that there'll be some people who are like looking at this and going, this seems like a good idea, but maybe this is something that is challenging for me to do because I've just been laid off, or the craziness that's going on with the economy right now. And if you got this far into this webinar, I want to secretly offer you something. We don't talk about it on our homepage or anything like that. But if you're struggling with being able to pay for something like this, then please contact our support. You can get hold of support on the homepage, or you can go to support@realplans.com. Let us know your story. You don't have to give a whole bunch of personal details. But if the subscription is going to be too challenging for you, let us know, and we'll see if we can help you. The idea really is to support people as much as we can. If you can afford $6 a month, or what have you, if you get an annual plan or what have you, then I'm trying to make it so that it's not a free-for-all, like, the Lakers getting their $450 million loan for the payment protection program. But I'm saying, if you bless the Lakers, I think they made an accident. They did that on accident, and they gave the money back. But if you can afford it, then please do pay for a subscription, because we're trying to keep our bills running, and we've got amazing employees like Katie and lots of other people in the background that will want to make sure that we look after. But if you're struggling, please let us know. It's extremely important at this time that everybody keeps their immune system up high and is eating good food. And really what this is all about is to help people to continue to cook and make good food and to keep their spirits up, because this is a crazy, crazy time. That's it. That's what I wanted to say.
Awesome. Love it.
All right, Katie. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope this has been useful, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.